Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. Today, I am picking up on a specific group of divine feminines, and specifically for the divine feminines that I am tuned into in this reading, I am sensing that you have this very powerful energy around you that people seem to naturally become really easily addicted to. I'm getting that just connecting with you, meeting you, speaking with you in the physical realm naturally causes a transference of energy that raises the other person's vibration and helps them to naturally connect more with their spiritual self or their most authentic self. Now, this comes with a lot of complications because what I'm picking up for you is that very often, especially in a context that you are speaking with or meeting a masculine in your life, and in the context of this being a potentially romantic situation, I'm hearing that very often these masculine energies will become very attached to you, maybe not initially, but over the course of time because of how your energy wears on them. And they will also tend to believe that the two of you have some kind of soul connection, which of course is sometimes the case here, where you do often attract in these soul connections with particular masculine energies. But the thing is, I'm getting that very often, because of how you affect them energetically, a masculine might feel almost immediately or very quickly that you are the one for them. I'm hearing that you are like an angel or like a gift sent from God or sent from the universe, from heaven. They will literally perceive you in this almost like unreal, otherworldly kind of way and believe that the two of you are meant to be together. But the thing about this is you are transmitting a very powerful frequency and energy that is a spiritual experience for others. And so the pitfall of having these kinds of meetings and connections is that very often the other person mistakes the spiritual energy they're receiving from you as the forever bridge to their own spirituality. So when someone feels that uptick in energy through communicating with you, through having this transfer of energy with you in whatever way that's occurring, it's actually meant to inspire them to create and cultivate a deeper connection with the divinity within themselves, with a higher state of consciousness. But what happens is, very often, instead of doing that, they latch on to you in the physical, or they hold on to you very tightly without doing that work within themselves, not realizing that getting closer to you, getting to know you is very much meant to be an internal spiritual experience. In fact, that's all it can be, because if someone isn't doing that level of inner work, then they are going to find themselves disconnected from you physically. And that just has to do with the energy dynamics around you. So I am going to be getting deeper into this message for whoever I'm speaking to here. But first, I want to share with you my personal, most powerful tool for manifesting. These are subliminals. Subliminals are audio meditations that contain unconscious spoken affirmations. And these affirmations are so powerful because they are embedded within other sounds, tones, and frequencies, which allows them to bypass the conscious filter of the mind and make deeper, more lasting impressions on the subconscious mind, which is why they're so effective for manifesting, because research shows it's actually our subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. So when we shift what's happening in the subconscious mind using subliminals, we can radically shift our energy, our vibration extremely fast and magnetize ourselves for our desires in life. I've personally seen super powerful results using subliminals over the years in so many different areas of my own life, and I've become so passionate about them that I've now created my very own Subliminals app, and it's called Sound and Soulful. As you can see on the screen, on this app, I have over 130 subliminals for love, relationships, twin flames, soul connections, energy clearing, manifesting specific things, and so much more. So there's so much to explore in the app. And when you sign up, you can create your own custom private playlists. You can listen to any subliminal in 10 different background sound options, and you can even read the affirmations while you are listening. There are over 1,200 reviews between the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, and the app has now an overall 4.9 star rating in the Apple App Store. So many people are seeing amazing results manifesting with the subliminals in my app, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with all of you to help you along your journey. Now, specifically for this reading, I would really recommend 2 subliminals. The first is called the Awakened Divine Feminine, which is really designed to get you into your center of power as the divine feminine goddess being that you are. This will help you feel super magnetic in love and also to attract more of your desires more effortlessly into your life. I would also recommend my Love Magnetism subliminal, because this will clear out any love-related energy blockages in your energetic field and help you to really align with your highest vibrational timeline in love. So the link to download the Sound and Soulful app is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. You can use the code YouTubeLove in all caps for 10% off in the app. And again, the link is below. Okay, so let's get deep into this dynamic of how your energy affects others. And my guides are saying right away that the reason it's important to understand this is because there's been a lot of confusion around the way that you meet and interact with others. Lately, you've been feeling as though many meetings in your life have been happening very mysteriously. There's been this sense of fate in many connections in your life. And I'm not just talking about the romantic ones. It feels like lately, for the specific collective of divine feminines I'm tuned into here, in the last few months or years, as you've reached this next phase of your spiritual evolution, you've had this experience of there being an energy of fate around many of your connections, both the platonic ones and also potentially the romantic ones, if you are experiencing romantic connections at this time as well. But this feeling of fate is often misunderstood. There's almost a lot of confusion around it. There's often this feeling of, I know that we met for a reason because there's so many signs, synchronicities, such a feeling of serendipity around our meeting. And yet I see bolded in capital letters, why? Like, why did this occur? What really is the purpose of these connections? And I'm hearing that you are this kind of lighthouse activator, meaning you are this beacon of light in the quantum realm. And so people kind of come with their boats, so to speak, on the dark waters of consciousness, and they're drawn to your light at a soul level. And just like a lighthouse helps to guide ships to the shore, you help to guide people back home to their innermost selves. I'm hearing that you also tend to reflect light back to others, meaning you reflect their own internal light aspects back to them. You help them through observing you or interacting with you to remember those light aspects within themselves, because in a sense, it's like you're reflecting positive aspects of them that they may have forgotten, parts of their authentic self back to them. And therefore, in that reflection, helping them to more consciously connect with those parts of themselves and to amplify them. But again, I do feel that very often, especially when it comes to meeting or interacting with masculine energies, they immediately assume that the connection is meant to be romantic, and also that the two of you are meant to be together, when very often you are meant to be in these situations more so an activator. So again, there can be a lot of misunderstandings because many people who are meeting you or encountering you have never met someone who activates them so profoundly on a spiritual level, and it makes it difficult for them to understand how to interpret this connection. They know it's a spiritual experience of some kind, but very often, especially with masculine energies that you're meeting, they will jump to assuming it's inherently romantic, and also that, again, you are like their forever person or something along those lines, that the two of you are meant to be together. This may even confuse you at times, especially if you are out in the dating world. You may have this strong sense of fate around these connections. Like sometimes you may even get a very strong urge or pull to meet someone or to talk to someone. But this doesn't always mean that that person is meant to be in your life romantically or indefinitely. Very often you feel this strong pull to speak with them or talk to them because they've been manifesting some interaction with you into their reality to activate them in some way spiritually. So it's so important for you to stay so completely connected to your inner guidance, because another message I'm getting is your intuition is the compass that's guiding you through all of this. It's helping you flow accurately through all of these interactions and connections, whether they are platonic or romantic. So if you're feeling pulled to speak to someone, to communicate with someone, know that there's a reason for that. But equally, if you suddenly feel guided to kind of pull back your energy, to set boundaries, to maybe no longer communicate or interact with a particular person, there's a reason for that as well. And the most important part of all of this, well, I should say maybe secondarily to staying connected to your intuition, is also to stay rooted in self-love. With the appreciation card coming out here, to really stay in your center of power, because what I'm getting is a lot of people coming into your life may actually tend to kind of distort your energy if you begin to externalize too much, if you begin to focus too much on what they're thinking or feeling, how they're reacting to you, which is very easy to do because you're someone who's very highly empathic. So you're very sensitive to energies. You're very aware of what other people are feeling and sensing energetically, especially when they're feeling things about you and projecting that onto you. So it's very important to pull back into that center of power when you need to recharge yourself, to really remain grounded in that sense of self-love. I'm hearing you are the powerful one. You are the center of power here. To remember yourself as that beacon and that lighthouse that you are, regardless of how you're flowing in and out of these types of connections and situations. And again, for some of you, this may not be romantic. I could be speaking platonically, and even platonically, people have this tendency to really latch onto you. I'm getting someone's boss or in the workplace where even in a work environment, people may really start to overly lean on you or overly rely on you because they can sense subconsciously that you're spiritually connected, that you have this kind of access to a sort of rare spiritual energy, and that by connecting with you more, they are also, as a byproduct, benefiting from that. But again, the key here is you're meant to reflect the light within others back to them, to inspire them to go deep within themselves, to do the inner work, and to consciously connect with more of that light within themselves. And if they don't choose to do that, if they close off to that internal spiritual process and try and project onto you or use you as a bridge to their own spirituality, you're going to begin feeling this drain effect on you energetically, which is when your intuition will signal to you that it's time to pull back and recharge. Now, with the solar plexus chakra and the temple path card, I'm getting just this very strong message that you can be confident in your path. I'm hearing you can be confident in something that you know that other people seem to question or not maybe understand. I got this message downloaded when I was meditating this morning, and the message was that very few people understand your path because they don't have the framework to understand it. And when I say that they don't have the framework, I mean that energetically, they are not at the level of vibration. They are not in the bandwidth, the vicinity of vibration to actually be able to comprehend the path that you are walking, why you operate in the way that you do, why you live your life in the way that you do. But I feel that this phase of your journey is about becoming extremely confident in who you are, in this path that you're walking, in this spiritual wisdom that you've really locked into, and beginning to express that in more bold, conscious, and possibly even visible ways in the physical world. So for these specific collective of divine feminines here, I feel that you are doing this. I'm also getting something going on with the throat chakra here. So maybe recently you felt guided to communicate yourself differently, to express something new creatively, to share your throat chakra energy with the world in some kind of a new way. And I just feel there's something physical you're creating or doing with your voice that is really healing to others. I'm hearing it opens them up to the authentic experience of themselves in some way. Maybe through being open, honest, and authentic about your own experiences or your own emotions. Somehow that's inspiring others to embrace their own authentic self and to communicate that experience more authentically to others as well. I just feel that if you've been creating or doing something with your throat chakra energy, there's a strong message of guidance to continue doing that, because it seems to be having this really powerful healing effect on many people that you may not even be aware of. I got the name Heather for someone, but also with cornucopia sitting on the throat chakra, I feel that consistent creation with your voice, with that throat chakra energy, is actually the dominant way in which you are manifesting at this time, but also spiritually activating others with the crown chakra. And those things go together, because the more that you have the courage to consistently create in this way, I'm hearing to share it when it's messy or to share it when it feels raw. So I feel almost like there's something about you sharing in a almost like a fluid, real-time, inspired, raw, vulnerable way that is so deeply healing to others, and yet it can be kind of scary at times, because there's this sense of being afraid of not looking perfect. That's the fear that would hold you back here, trying to wait until it's polished and perfect to share it. But the guides are saying share it as it feels emotional for you, as it feels raw for you, as you're inspired to share it, not pushing it out there indefinitely into the future, imagining that one day it will feel perfect and then you'll put your voice out there, or you'll share this part of yourself that again is so, it's actually almost the message is like, if you were to wait until it was polished to share it, it wouldn't actually even carry the same spiritual power, because it's actually the emotional charge, that raw emotion behind whatever you're doing or sharing, that is so powerfully activating other people. I'm hearing you're an inspirational speaker. Now, for some of you, that might be literal. Maybe you actually are a speaker in a traditional sense, a public speaker, as we say. But for others of you, this is more metaphoric. You're an inspirational speaker through the daily conversations you have with others, through some way that you're sharing your truth or your voice with the world. I'm hearing whenever you speak, it inspires other people to share more of their own truth. With adjacent possibilities, I also see some kind of major shift taking place. I'm hearing the shift will pick up and happen more and more quickly the more that you have the courage to consistently share your voice through this medium or outlet or in this way. Now, again, I feel this is getting pretty specific to a certain group of people, so only you will know how this connects for you. But the words consistent creation just keep coming through here, like the emphasis on consistency over perfection. In fact, again, as we said earlier, the idea of perfection, the idea of waiting until something is polished would actually not have it's like that polished version wouldn't have the same powerful impact that you are having as you share your process, as you share in those more raw moments. With the Hierophant reversed, I'm getting that something you're doing is directly challenging what people believe is possible, what people believe they can do, or limitations that are typically societally accepted. There's something very non-conforming and unconventional about the way in which you're sharing your voice, or the method that you're using to share it, or maybe the circumstances around you sharing your voice. I'm not sure what this is for whoever I'm speaking to here. I'm hearing silently admiring. I feel that there are many people who are silently admiring you rising into your full power that haven't necessarily communicated this admiration to you. Now, for some of you, this could specifically be some of those masculine energies that we were tuned into here, because that did come up at the beginning of the reading. So I feel that many people are kind of in the background, observing what you're doing, silently cheering you on, wanting to see you succeed, wanting to see you thrive. I hear you have a lot of silent support that you're unaware of, because these individuals are some of the ones who are feeling so inspired by what you're doing or creating. I'm hearing intuitively feel into that silent support that so many people are giving you that they may not necessarily be consciously expressing to you. And that will help to motivate you to continue moving forward along this pathway, to really remind yourself, or to really lock into that knowing that what you are doing is having this powerful healing effect on so many people, even if they aren't necessarily expressing that to you consciously. So this has been a very mysterious reading. I'm going to pull a card from the Rose Oracle here because it feels very fitting. I tend to take this deck to connect more with feminine energy, and this has definitely been a divine feminine energy I've been channeling into here. The card that we pulled is Come to Me, attracting like a rose. Receive, abundance, desires. So let's read a little bit from the guidebook here. Have you ever noticed how in summer, when the roses are at their fullest and their scent is hanging in the air, bees and other pollinators suddenly appear? Pollination happens when pollen from one plant mixes with pollen from another, or is transferred from the stigma of one flower to the stigma of another. Roses don't go running all over the place reaching and grabbing. Rather, they rely on the bees to come to them. The rose is never reaching for the bee. It's never grasping or overstretching. It embraces what it is fully and allows life to come to it. It receives it fully. It doesn't open and close according to who walks by. It opens and blooms regardless. Wow, so that really gets back to this idea of you being this lighthouse of energy, except in this metaphor, you are this rose that is pollinating. But the interesting thing about both of those kind of symbols is they're something that's very rooted and planted where it is. It's grounded where it is. And then the work, the effect, the influence it's having is happening naturally as it remains grounded within itself. So once again, that message is really being emphasized here about staying grounded in your own self-love, not allowing others to sway you, because you are the influencer, you are the lighthouse, you are that pollinating rose here. Now, I feel with the Happy Family card, this is always my card of union or reunion. So I feel that you've really stepped into this place of holding space for harmonious, balanced connection in this new phase of your life. And I have to say, with the yin yang card reversed, there may be a twin flame involved here for some of you that you've been manifesting in with the cornucopia card. Wow, this is a beautiful little spread of cards coming out here right at the end of this reading. For some divine feminine listening, I really feel as though you are coming into very close alignment with a physically manifested union with a divine masculine that you've been desiring. I mean, the connection you've been desiring for a long time. For some of you, it may be the specific person you've also been desiring for a while, but for others of you, it may come through a person that you haven't met yet, or that you've met recently, or that you've been unaware of. So take it however it's connecting. But because this is coming out at the end of the reading here, I am going to be closing this reading and then channeling into this in our next reading. So if you do want to get notified when I post the next reading where we're going to continue this trail of thought, then I do recommend subscribing to the channel and turning on your notifications so you know when I post real-time energy updates and messages that I am getting coming through here. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And if you do feel guided to explore my powerful subliminal meditations to help you deeply reprogram your subconscious mind, magnetize yourself for your desires, and manifest effortlessly in your life, then the link to download my Sound and Soulful Subliminals app is in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.